Hi, my name is Jonathan Joseph. I am the founder of Brandberg. I studied at AOD from 2015 to 2018 and I am from the Graphics and Visual Communication department. When I joined AOD's foundation program, I was introduced to Visual Communication, which was graphic design, interior design, fashion design, and motion graphic design. And each lecturer would come from each department to kind of like teach us these subjects, and I honestly fell in love with most of these subjects. I liked how each subject had its own feel to it, and I kind of aced all those subjects as well. I kind of made sure I did good grades for these subjects. But graphic design I always had a personal touch to graphic design because I was learning the Adobe suite before going back to AOD because I was learning CorelDRAW, and then from there I went to Illustrator and Photoshop. So I had a knack for the software, so I would always do interesting compositions at an early stage there. So graphic design and visual communication, they're very similar terms, but they're also different from each other. And I think especially in Sri Lanka, when we say about graphic designers, people usually think that graphic designers are people who know Photoshop and Illustrator. But in this case, that's not only what a graphic designer does. Photoshop and Illustrator is the tools for graphic design. But visual communication is much more conceptual. With visual communication, it teaches you the understanding of typography, hierarchy, layouts, illustration design, print design, so many things. Whereas graphic design is the term especially used in Sri Lanka is a person who knows Illustrator, Photoshop, and maybe the Adobe suite. So I'd say visual communication is a slightly better term, especially for Sri Lanka and in design. So with design, I think it added a lot of value, especially to my life, because it gave me reasoning to a lot of things. Back then, I would always wonder why they would use certain colors, why brands would use certain fonts, why we feel for certain brands. And I think design kind of helped answer those questions, because now I know why the color black is used. I know why the color red is used. I also know why certain brands speak to us in a different way compared to other brands. So I think design really gives you that justification as to why things are done, and that thinking really helps you. And as designers, we think different. If a person is thinking on a straight line, the designer would choose to shift to another path, lateral thinking. And I think design kind of undocks that message of thinking, which is why design thinking is very important for us to come up with interesting concepts and stuff, because we think different. I'm actually pretty grateful for AOD because they kept pushing us to do better and better in terms of design. Its lecturers were really good. They kept telling us, don't settle, especially me, because I would sometimes marry that idea, but then they would always tell to keep pushing, and that's something that I ended up doing and I used for my life as well. I made sure that whatever design or whatever thing that you do, don't settle, keep pushing, make it as much as better and to what it can be. Why visual communication is important is the camera that this video is taken, its branding and its logo is done by a designer, and that's just from the branding standpoint. If you were to look into other avenues of design like social design, so many controversial issues are being solved by social designers, which is a very beneficial thing for the world. Illustrators use this medium to also convey really good, strong messages for social design, especially in our country and the world around us with so many issues. Typographers have created typefaces that intersect two different languages, which is also a very smart thing and a very good thing for us as humans. Designers have created braille lettering for the blind, the disabled. Signages have been created following road rules and keeping things simple for us as humans to understand and perceive it much easier. Because I like fixing things, and I also do like helping people, this job is amazing, and I really enjoyed personally, this is something that I enjoy the most. And being a visual communicator and being the founder also in my own company gives me the freedom to really try to fix problems if I want to fix a problem. I'm not limited to it by any chance. So if I do see, if we can fix something, then and there I would always tell, if I go to meet that person, I would tell that person, look, maybe your logo could use some refining here and there, or maybe we could change a couple of things just to make your business much better. The fact that we are able to help people and we have the power to help them gives us, it makes us really happy. It makes me personally very, very happy. So with design, there's so many opportunities out there. Why? Because visual communication is broken into many segments. You have branding, you have packaging, you have illustration, you have print design. There's so many avenues that you can expand to, and sometimes when you especially do this degree, you can if you want to create brands, you can focus on branding. If you like fonts, you can focus on typography. If you like drawing, you can focus on illustration. If you like to be a social person and you want to solve social problems, you can be a social designer. So the spectrum of graphic design is very vague, and you can really kind of choose which avenue you want to be in. When I graduated for the graduate showcase, I was approached by many advertising companies, but unfortunately I said no, because I knew the brand that I wanted to develop and build while I was in uni, because I fell in love with the process of branding, and I kind of saw the niche that Sri Lanka had. We didn't have as much as branding agencies in Sri Lanka, and that's something that I wanted to build, which is why I built Brandberg, where I was freelancing for 2 years, creating that clientele, creating that trust with clients. And when I realized it's time to be a bigger company, we did that. I took that leap of faith, and now I'm blessed with an amazing team. So when I started Brandberg, or rather from freelancing, when I transitioned to be known as a company, all this happened in a small room in my house. I remember waking up in the morning, taking my laptop to that room, working till 10 to in the night. Sometimes I'd work on Saturdays and Sundays, and I'll be always working in that room. That room was very special to me, and I was always working there. I was always able to get a lot of work done as well. And then once I realized, okay, it's time to step it up, I rented a small cubicle office in my dad's office in Colombo, that was in the heart of the city. And I felt like I know it was a very, very small step, but that was a proud moment for me, because it showed that there is a footprint now in Colombo. And from a little small room to a cubicle there, to now a much bigger office, and to a bigger office in the future with a much bigger team. I felt that these little steps were important to me, and that little step that I did, that kind of made me proud. With myself, and like some tips that I could kind of give you guys is, when you are doing whatever, you can be doing visual communication, you can be doing interior design, you can be doing fashion design, you can do there's so much of things that you can do, but whatever you're doing, keep pushing, don't stop. If you think that you're there, try to push even more further. If you are given a brief, try to do something beyond the brief. This could be for your academic, this could be this could be also for your professional lifestyle. Always do more. The mindset of doing more is always good, because that shows that you are able to do much more than you actually can. You can trick your brain to do more. And self-evaluate. What I personally do with my personal life is I self-evaluate myself. I'll see what I have achieved within a year and what I can achieve next year. I'll keep these mini goals in my head, and I'll make sure that I'll keep pushing these goals, and I keep breaking them. And that's the same thing I do personally to my personal life and to the design as well. We don't know everything. We are humans. We are creatures where we need to keep learning. Design trends keep changing. What you think is nice now won't be nice later. So you have to make sure that ego doesn't take charge, that you have to be humble and being humble is the best way to go. As a designer, as a businessman, as anything, it's not easy, but you should have that mindset. And if you have these qualities, you can really be and truly be a great person and a great designer, and this will take you a really long way.